Well, good evening, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day. I am done. I'm back from my meeting and stuff. I know everybody's had their live streams and things. Normally, I would have been live streaming as well, but had to take care of business as well. So as we look at our schedule, and this is how it's going to go. Eagles, of course, in Philadelphia, Thursday night football, which is going to be hell. But it's an opportunity that if the Cowboys can find a way to win, the Eagles having a Super Bowl hangover and feeling themselves, that would go a long ways. That's followed by us going back home, playing against the Giants, and then we go to Chicago for the Bears. Good thing we're going to Chicago early in the season before it gets really cold, because it gets really cold at Soldier Field. And then we're playing the Packers at home. You know we struggle with the Packers, but that's a Sunday night football game. And then followed by that, we go to New York City to take on the Jets. Then we go to Carolina to take on the Panthers. And then week 7, we play the Commanders at home. And then we go to Mile High for week number 8. Followed by that, week number 9, Monday Night Football against the Cardinals at home. So we need to, those first 9 weeks, guys, we need to go 7-2. We need to go 7-2 on that first part of the schedule. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to bullshit you. And I'm going to say this is actually a good thing that the schedule shapes up this way. Because what this will do for you, you may lose to the Eagles week 1, but you should be able to get the Giants and the Bears and then toss up for the Packers. And then you got the Jets and the Panthers. You should be able to win those 2. That should be 4 wins right there. You got the Commanders at home, the left hand up. Who are we? I'm going to say we're going to split with the Commanders at least. That gives you 5 wins right there. And then you got the Broncos and the Cardinals. I think you can beat the Cardinals at home. That's 6 wins. And if you get really lucky and beat the Broncos, that's 7 wins. You're 7-2. Because then the rest of the schedule is going to get rougher. You got the bye week, and then you have at the Raiders for Monday Night Football. I think you got a good chance against Pete Carroll and the Raiders. They're rebuilding. And then this is where shit hits the fan. You got the Eagles at home. I think you can do that. And then you got the Chiefs at home, but it is on Thanksgiving. And then a week later, you got to go to Detroit. That's murderer's row. Eagles, Chiefs, and Lions. Then you're back home for some home cooking against the Vikings. I think Sunday Night Football, you can get that one. And then you got the Chargers at home. Then you're playing on Christmas with the Commanders with the left hand up. I don't think we can tailgate. Tailgating on Christmas Day, it's going to be cold, and it's Christmas Day. And then you play at the Giants. I think you can get that one. If you do not get out to a hot start, it's going to be really hard the second half of the season. I do want to go to NFL Live and get their reaction, and then I'll give you my final thoughts after that.
We're staying in the NFC East here a little bit, but let's talk about the Cowboys. Of course, the week 1 opponent for the Eagles. We're going to see their schedule pop up here. You guys are telling me they've worked on the O-line. They've gotten better in some ways, but I think maybe the biggest thing is Dak Prescott being healthy. Adam, when you think about how different they would look, they
different week. That's very new, I feel, in the NFL in the last maybe 2 or 3 years.
Four
How many
Thursday night
back in the
games.
day it was you got one game that felt different and it broke your routine.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot he's going to have to get used to. And I'll tell you what, I know there's a team in the NFC East we haven't really even mentioned. We haven't talked about the Giants very much.
Yeah.
They have a front on defense
Good point.
that will absolutely knock your quarterback out.
Yeah, good point.
So you
That's the
cannot
Week
just
18.
dismiss them at all. And
Right.
I'm telling you, this division, Dallas is up against it in this division. They are up against it because all these teams have gotten a lot better, I believe.
That's the Week 18 game for the Cowboys. Did already see that you picked your Cowboys to win the Super Bowl. I know you were real serious about that.
People tend to get excited and overreact to everything these days,
Oh,
which
man.
you get kind of used to. I was half joking because Michael Strahan was in the studio, but I do think this. I do believe. Now, I understand the Eagles,
Here we go.
They're the cream of the crop. Washington, I believe they'll be better. But I do think Dallas, I think they've been flying under the radar a little bit this offseason, and rightfully so. They don't deserve a lot of talk at this point. But I do believe that they're going to be, not just because they were injured last year, I think they're going to be a better football team this year, and I think they may surprise some people. I mean, I know in Dallas there's always talk about a Super Bowl, and who knows? I mean, it's been a while, as we know. But I do think they're going to contend and be stronger than they've probably gotten credit up to this point.
Yeah, 1995. You know it well, Troy. You were there and had a big part in it, right? All right, thanks so much. Troy Aikman, part of that Monday Night Football booth, the Hall of Famer. We appreciate you joining us here to get us started on we got a 2-hour schedule release show here, Troy. I know you're going to stay tuned for the whole
Stay for the 2 hours if you
2
want.
hours. You got an hour and 55 minutes left, huh? I mean, is that what you got?
You helped us out.
There's a lot of games to go over, Troy. A lot.
Damn.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
appointment
good luck.
viewing.
I'll be watching.
I have a feeling you won't be. But Troy, we appreciate you so much, and we'll see you soon. How about this, you guys? This is pretty cool. The international slate of games has just really expanded so much.
Well, we'll get off of it from there. So the Cowboys, we're going to need to get off to a hot start. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But if I will say anything, I'm going to say that the Eagles, it's crazy because the Eagles, I don't believe, have back-to-back. I don't believe they have back-to-back home games. Their schedule is crazy as well. And so you start looking at them, they could get beat down early. They've got us, they've got Kansas City, they've got the Rams the first 3 weeks of the season. And that's not going to be an easy road to hoe either. So whoever gets out of the NFC East, it might be difficult for them to end up getting home field advantage when you think about some of the other divisions out there that'll have cake schedules. But we'll see what we're going to see. It is pouring out rain outside again, so I'm not sure if I'm going to go outside to do a fireside chat. But we'll see, I guess, in a few minutes. As always, good people, I believe in the Cowboys. I think that they can go ahead and stack some wins. I think that the first 9 games, they can go 6-3, 7-2. If they can do that, they can eke out the wins against like the Raiders and the Giants and stuff like that. And if they can find a win, surprising win with, maybe Philadelphia at home or the Commanders, all of a sudden things look a whole lot different. Yes, they will have been battered and bruised and everything else, but they'll definitely have been tested. So, as they say out there, you don't know what you don't know, and we don't know what they're going to do. Alrighty, good people. I will see you soon.
Can't stand it anymore. I've got to get out of here. I've got to get out of here. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Stewardess, please let me handle this.
I've got to get
Calm down now. Get back to your seat. I'll take care of this. Calm down. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Doctor, you're wanted on the phone. Everything's going to be all right. Please.
Sister, please, I'll handle this.
Yourself.